my music is not way too loud. I am hoping that my sound is not messed up because it seems quite loud to me. So you folks in chat, help me out. Let me know. Help me make sure that everything sounds good, that my music's not overpowering my voice. Because we've had a few audio mishaps before. I see so many familiar faces in chat. Esther, Islam, Ray, Leonardo, Glenn, Wolfgang, Claire, Adobe Live's in the house, Chad, Anthony, Shelly, Jennifer, Kathleen, Leal, Sig, Asit, Ashi. It's so good to see you guys. Anyone else hear an echo? I do not hear an echo, but let me know. But yeah, welcome everyone. My name is Voodoo Val, and I'm going to be your host this morning for a new round of Photoshop Daily Creative Challenges. Big shout out to Shauna Lynn. Thank you so much for that wonderful stream. It was great. I was listening in the background while I was preparing for my own stream. It was wonderful to be able to wake up bright and early in sunny Sacramento to the soft sultry tones of Shauna Lynn. So very, very, very cool. Basically what I'm going to do for this stream is I'm going to introduce you folks to the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I'm going to let you know how you can get involved in that challenge with me. We're going to go over how to create a Behance project for your Daily Creative Challenge, and then tomorrow we're going to actually start the challenges. So if you already know what we're doing here today, you've already maybe participated in the Daily Creative Challenges before, then you kind of know the drill. But if you're brand new to this, maybe you're new to Adobe Live 100% today, or maybe you've thought about doing the Daily Creative Challenges but have never quite gotten into them, follow along with me and I will show you how you can get started. So if you folks head over to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, it will bring you to the landing page, which looks a little something like this. Let me jump over here. So this is the landing page. As I said, behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. You'll see the big Photoshop icon with Daily Creative Challenge listed in the top so you know you're in the right place. It will let you know what dates this challenge is going to. So from March 30th, which is today, up until April 10th, this 2 weeks it's going to be running. You can click on this blue button, which if you're logged in to Behance, it will actually say your name. It'll say, hi, like for instance, hi Voodoo, take the challenge. And you can register for the challenge right there. And you scroll down here and it'll give you a little 1 through 4 of how you can get started with me. Each day you will receive a challenge, which will be unlocked here. You can see all these challenges are actually top secret. They're classified right now, but starting tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. Pacific time, you will start to see this first challenge will be unlocked. And then every day following that, the next one and the next one will be unlocked to you. Because they are secret until the day that we work on them, which is fun. You can join the community chat, meaning either head over to behance.net/live, especially if you are over there on YouTube. I see some folks in the YouTube chat, like Borislav and Surya, Osborne, and Sokil and Ramat. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here and checking out the stream. But come over to Behance, because that is where I'm going to be reading the chat for the rest of the stream. And it's also where you will need to be in order to get some awesome resources and watch and communicate with all of the other streamers that are coming on after me today, because me and Shauna are kind of at the beginning of the day here, and there is a whole rest of our day full of multiple different guests, multiple shows, and awesome content for you to enjoy. You can also join our Discord. In fact, if you go right here to this link, if you go to bit.ly/psdiscord, making sure that P and that S are capitalized, it will bring you to the Discord channel where you can join. You can introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, and you can also post your challenges for feedback, and also post them so that you have a chance to be featured on our show. If I switch over here to the Discord so that you guys can see what that looks like, let me pop over here. you'll see this. So you can see, let me see, I'm actually over in my own Discord right now. There we go. So if you come in here, you'll be able to see basically all of the challenges that are happening every morning. If you come over to the challenges tab, basically every morning that we have a challenge going, somebody from the Adobe team will come in and actually post a little bit of information about the challenge for that day with a link that you can follow in order to go to that challenge page and get any of the downloadable files that we have prepared for you. You can also come back to this page and go over the challenges that have happened in the past, and you can still do past challenges if you want as well. Also, if you know that you're going to be getting a little bit of a late start, maybe you're tuning in today, but you know you won't be able to start until day 3 or 4, you can always come back to this page, get a little recap of what we did on those challenges you missed, go back to that page, and be able to watch the replay of the video of me and other designers doing that challenge so that you have a little bit of a starting point to work from. You can come in here to the current challenge page, and you can turn in your Photoshop Daily Creative Challenges for the day. This is where anyone who is going to be streaming live on Behance for our Photoshop or design segment will actually be pulling these up on stream and showing off all of the wonderful people who've come in and done the challenge, to give them a little bit of feedback, a little shout out on stream to say thank you for participating and hanging out with us, which is a lot of fun. And then you can also come in here to past challenge. So if you do get a little bit behind, or you decide you want to go back and do one of our other challenges from previous weeks, you can always do those and still post them here, and our mentors will see your challenge entries. So that's a little bit about how you can join me, how you can get involved. As it says here on number 3, watch our daily live show to see how to get started and ask questions. All of the challenges, in fact, I can actually scroll down here because you can actually see past challenges right here. If I come over here, you can actually see, first of all, there's a Get Started button, which will lead you to be able to download any starter files and resources for that challenge. But there's also a Watch Video button. So like I mentioned, if you miss a challenge, you can always click that, and that'll bring you either to my video or one of our other designers' videos who taught that challenge, so that you can watch us do everything, and you won't miss anything. It is all archived for you. So yeah, that's basically how you can get involved. I wanted to take the opportunity today actually to show you how I prepare for the Daily Creative Challenge on our little, this is kind of like our introduction day, our welcome. It's been, a few days. We've been gone over the weekend. Happy Monday, and we're going to be jumping into the challenge in the next few days. But we don't actually have a challenge set for today. So I'm gonna jump into Photoshop, and I'm gonna show you how I make a cover for my Behance project, and then I will make a Behance project for the DCC challenges that are coming up. So I'm gonna pull up my Photoshop right quick. I've got a little square file going on here, and I'm gonna make something kind of based on what the theme of our DCC challenges are going to be for the next 2 weeks. So you folks know that I love to choose little themes and things for these challenges. Of course, every challenge has its own tool or its own, frame of focus for creation for that challenge. But I like to add a little bit more pizzazz. I've done sci-fi challenges. I've done fantasy RPG challenges and social media challenges and all kinds of things. And so this DCC is actually going to be a farming RPG theme. So if there's any fans out there of Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley or anything like that, this is definitely the challenge for you. I want you, though, to keep in mind that if you are not a farming RPG kind of fan, maybe you're not really a video gamer at all, you do not have to make your challenges themed accordingly. This is just kind of like a cool extra little artsy theme to get everybody inspired and give you an extra little I guess, topic to design according to. And also Animal Crossing just came out, and I know that a lot of us are social distancing at the moment and maybe diving into our favorite farming RPGs. So it's just kind of a way to keep things fun and fresh and have a good time. So for mine, I am going to I'm going to bump myself over to the other side of my screen with magic, just like that. Harvest Moon. Yes, Kathleen, I knew that you would like this. What about Star Wars Battlefront? If I could make everything Star Wars themed, you guys know I could, but I don't think they would invite me back, because that would be all the content I would be doing. So I have to refrain. But this is what I'm going to do for mine. So I've got like my little layer 0 here, and I would like to just create a cover image that says Photoshop DCC to be the cover of my Behance project. So I am going to grab my text tool. You can either grab it from the toolbar here, or you can press T on your keyboard. And I'm going to click in right here, and I'm going to write the word Photoshop. Now I'm going to double click to highlight all of my text that I just added. I'm going to come up here to my fonts, and I'm going to hit a Brayton Composer. This is a font that I really like, that I think is really fun. I'm going to be using this a few times throughout the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, so I suppose this is kind of like a little taste of what is to come. And I'm gonna make my Photoshop word bigger there. You can either double click to highlight and then come up to your text here and change to a very particular sized font that you want to use. But what I did just there is I just hit Control T on my keyboard to free transform, and then I just drug out the corners holding Alt, because that will help me resize from all angles instead of just resizing the one size here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm gonna actually spend some time experimenting with the font. So if I highlight here, I think I can come up, and I've got regular and I've got italic. For this font, I'm actually going to switch to italic because I think that's fancy. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start doing something interesting here. I'm going to actually just highlight one of my letters, and I'm going to come over to my glyphs panel, and I'm going to look and see if there's any extra glyphs for me to choose from here. If you don't see glyphs in your Photoshop, all you have to do is go up to Window and then scroll down till you see glyphs and hit that button, and it will open your glyphs panel for you. So my capital P here does not really have a glyph, so I'm going to hit my lowercase p and then highlight that, and I do actually have some glyphs for a lowercase p. And I can basically come in here and I can change the glyph and use some fancy Photoshop letters. I don't really see any fancy P's that I prefer, so I think I actually am going to use my capital P. I'm just going to change that to a capital P real quick because I like it. Let me see if I can highlight that property. There we go. Because I do actually like that capital P if that's what we got. And then I'm going to highlight this P here, and you'll see my panel for my glyphs actually comes up automatically. And I'm just going to cycle through here until I find something I like. I actually like that. That's actually pretty cool. We can kind of check some of these other ones. That one's a good option as well. There's even one that goes up over the top, which is very interesting. That might be an option, or one of these little things. But basically, I'm just going to play around until I find something that I think is pretty neat. Maybe actually this top one. And let's see if our H has something fancy for us to use. I'm thinking maybe, let's see. That's kind of interesting. Maybe not one that goes over the top again. Maybe we'll use that one that goes over the top and use one of our P's that goes underneath. That's actually kind of cool. We've got a lot of O's in here, so maybe our O has some differences. Maybe I can change that center O to something fancy. It's really up to you if you want. Again, the font that I'm using right now is Brayton Composer. But you guys can use whatever font you like. I actually like this pretty well. I'm trying not to be super I guess detailed and go crazy because we have limited time today. But I think I'm gonna be okay with this. This is kind of cute. Can we rewatch this? Yes, absolutely. You can always come back to behance.net/live and scroll down underneath the video player to see not only the past broadcasts that we've had, but also our schedule for what is to come in the future. And they will also be archived on the YouTube channel, as well as on the DCC landing page, where you can just hit watch video on all of your previous challenges or current challenges for the current 2-week set, and you can watch each individual video for each challenge, which is awesome. Digging this font. Yeah, I love this font too. So I'm going to say Photoshop, and then I'm going to click with my text tool again, and I'm going to write DCC. Now, let's see. I'm going to click that. I'm going to say Control T to free transform, and I'm going to make this larger. I actually kind of like that the C encroaches upon that little swirl of the P there. So I might leave that. We can kind of see if there's any C's that I prefer here. Maybe this one. That might be a little much, unless we have like a fancy D that we could do. I don't know. I think that's a little... That might be a little too crazy for us. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's a little much. I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's do a regular C. I'll do a regular D as well. Actually, that one's pretty cool. Nah, I'll do a lowercase d. There we go. I think that's fine. So there's my little Photoshop DCC sign, I guess you could say. And so this is cool and all, but we've got a few more minutes here where I can play around. So I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to add some texture to this. I've got some pretty cool textures that I actually found on True Grit Texture Co. I'm sure you've heard a lot of our guests that we've had on Adobe Live actually use this resource, and I actually learned about it from Adobe Live because we've had so many people talk about it, which was really cool. So I'm going to grab a texture from my textures folder real quick. I've got like a vignette halftone kind of thing and a mixed grit halftone that I like. I'm going to drag this mixed grit halftone in here. I'm going to stretch this over my canvas like that. I'm going to hit enter. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to hit Control I, or not Control, yes, Control I. I just hit Alt I by accident though. I'm going to hit Control I to invert. And then I'm going to scrub through my, let's see, I'm going to scrub through my, there we go, there's like a screen. Scrub through my blending modes here until I find something I like that kind of takes a little bit of that out. You see how that looks? It's pretty cool, I think. I might actually kind of shrink down my halftone here. Give it a little more texture, like so. And it's doing its little thinking game. There we go. And it adds like kind of a nice little interesting texture to my image here. Now, something that's actually pretty interesting that you can do, I'm going to come over here to channels, and I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to right click the image of this top here. And what that's going to do is that actually just selected everything on my canvas that is white, regardless of what layer it's on. So it's basically selected it based on what it sees rather than what is on the current layer. You can see, because it's got everything there, and it's selected within the borders of my text. And you can do that basically by toggling on and off the layers that you want to show based on what you want to select. I'm going to hit Control I to invert. Oops, let's see. Actually, I'm gonna grab a selection tool. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna say Select Inverse. So I've just selected my black text here. I'm gonna make a new layer by saying Control Shift in. I'm gonna call this Title. And then I'm going to grab my paint bucket and I'm going to come in here with maybe maybe a purple color because I like purple. And I'm just gonna paint bucket in that selection and hit Control D to deselect. And now on a totally different layer, I can actually group all this stuff together underneath here by selecting them all and hitting Control G and hiding it. Now on a separate layer, I have this one interesting image that is just the textured version of my title. So for example, I can come in here underneath, grab my my brush and grab a totally unrelated color, and if I paint underneath, you can see it actually shows through because it's just the cool cutout texture, which is neat. And then what you folks can do from here is you can just add a background. Maybe you want to add an interesting texture or something that can go into the back. Like maybe I will add this interesting texture here. And you can play with colors and all sorts of things for your own challenge title. It's really up to you what you want to do. I've only got a couple of minutes left here before I have to take off, so unfortunately I can't make it extra fancy. But I will just paint bucket in a color here, maybe related to this purple, maybe something a little brighter, paint bucket that in, and find a nice blending mode that I can attach to it. That's actually just like a nice subtle lavender. I think maybe I'll leave it at that. If I had more time, I might put more effort into it, but for now, I'm just gonna say Control Shift S for save as, or Control S if I've already saved. So I'm gonna save my file, and then I'm gonna say, let's go save as, save on my computer. I'm gonna save this as a JPEG so that I can upload it to Behance. Save. Okay. And then in the last couple minutes here, I'm gonna go to Behance. I'll pull this up over here. And there's me on the front page. I'm gonna come over to my profile, and I'm gonna say create a project, just like that. You guys can put whatever you want in this title. All I'm gonna write here for now is PSDCC, and I will start populating this with more content as I go forward. I'm gonna say continue, upload image, and I'm gonna navigate to my cover art that I just made. And while it's uploading, I am going to name my project. I'm gonna call this PSDCC. It's giving me a little loading thing here while it loads. I'm gonna say PSDCC, and I'm gonna say March to April 2020. And then I'm gonna zoom into this just a little bit, and I'm gonna position it like so. I'm gonna say crop and continue. You can come in here and edit the discoverability of everything. Make sure that you put in PS Daily Challenge if you want us to be able to find your challenge entries here, and then you can say publish. Oh, I have to add creative fields. I'm just gonna say illustration, graphic design, and art direction. And then I can publish. And that is how I create my Behance project to prepare. If I go back to my profile, you can see that my Photoshop DCC thing is there and ready to go. And that is all the time I have for today. I hope that you folks will join me tomorrow so that we can jump into our very first challenge of this wave of farming RPG style daily creative challenges. And please stay tuned because we have an awesome schedule jam-packed with epic designers and segments coming up after me. I appreciate you all. Ashi, Anna, Sam, Paul, thank you so much for being here with me. I will see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time again for our first challenge. So until next time, folks, I will see you and have a wonderful day.